Hello and welcome to a special report about cycles. Let's get things started by showing you a video on the basics of the nitrogen cycle.
So here's nitrogen with his little school cap, and he's about to go on a field trip. There's a bus, there's some lightning over there, and here's some oxygen. We use a buddy system on this field trip because lightning fuses oxygen with nitrogen, and off they go. This new nitrate hits the ground run and gives this corn some nutrients just to be eaten by this crazy cow. He poops out the nitrate along with a ninja and falls to the earth as manure. So our little nitrate makes his way through the soil and through the riparian zones and through the wetlands until he meets Billy Bug, denitrifying bacteria that kicks oxygen and puts nitrogen back in the atmosphere,
where he is doomed to roam the earth.
Luckily, a legume uses rhizobium to make ammonium, but he soon nitrifies back into a nitrate where he decides to get kicked by a ninja! Just kidding, live in a tree just when a fire wreaks havoc on tree kind. Nitrogen is released back into the atmosphere where it is doomed. Field trip over. Go home, nitrogen. You've had a long day.
Wasn't that great? Now here's a catchy tune that will be in your head all day.
I rise to the sky from the sea below. Then down to the ground as rain and snow.
I represent the movement of water, that's my purpose. Whether on, above or below the earth's surface. In a continuous cycle, my work's never done, cause I'm driven by energy from the sun. I travel through the sea, through the air, through the ground. You could say that water really gets around, but in fact most water's just chilling in the oceans. Only a small fraction is really in motion at any given time, but yo, that's the way it goes when we're studying the voyages of H2O. In the cycle, water changes states at various places, of three states being ice, liquid, and water vapor. But this cycle strays from the norm, cause through the process water still keeps the same structural form. While other cycles involve chemical change, water may change states but its structure stays the same. I rise to the sky from the sea below, then down to the ground as rain and snow. I keep it moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle. Moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle. Rise to the sky from the sea below, then down to the ground as rain and snow. I keep it moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle. Moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle. So when water transforms from liquid to gas and rises up into the atmosphere, that's evaporation, a process made possible by energy from the sun, also known as solar radiation. And when there's water vapor in the sky reforms into liquid water droplets, that's condensation. And when this water falls back down to the earth as rain, snow, hail, or sleet, that's precipitation. Plants have their own type of evaporation through their stomata, which is called transpiration, though collectively the term used for transpiration plus all other evaporation is evapotranspiration. Two more terms to add to your collection. The movement of water through the air is advection, and speaking of keeping it moving, understand that runoff is water flowing across the land. I rise to the sky from the sea below, then down to the ground as rain and snow. I keep it moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle. Moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle. Rise to the sky from the sea below, then down to the ground as rain and snow. I keep it moving, moving, cause I'm the water cycle.
That tune was by Alex. Now that we've learned about the water and nitrogen cycle, let's take a look at the carbon cycle.
Billions of years ago, our once lifeless planet was bombarded with a series of meteorites from outer space containing one of the most important building blocks of life, carbon. The carbon began to interact with the existing environment, mixing with water, land, and the atmosphere. Living organisms now inhabited the Earth's surface and its watery depths. These very organisms play a pivotal role in the carbon cycle as we know it today. In the oceans, carbon moves between the atmosphere and the ocean's surface through a process called diffusion. Aquatic plant life absorbs carbon through photosynthesis, fish and other marine life through consumption, which is then returned to the water and air through respiration. When these organisms die, carbon is decomposed and transferred to the ocean floor through a process called sedimentation. Similarly, terrestrial plants remove carbon from the atmosphere through photosynthesis, where they store and use it for growth, as do animals by means of consumption. This carbon is then released back into the atmosphere through respiration, or eventually decomposition, in which over time become fossil fuels. Unfortunately for the carbon cycle, an element has been introduced in recent years. An element that has thrown off the cycle's delicate balance between air, land, and sea. This is the human element. Fossil fuels are extracted and burnt to power cars and produce electricity. The process of deforestation not only prevents plant life from undergoing transfer of carbon with the atmosphere, the fiery blaze also releases carbon into the air in the form of carbon dioxide, all of which leads to an increase in global temperature.
It's time for question and answer time. Questions from around the world.
Why is the water cycle important?
The water cycle is important because if we did not have it, we would be extinct.
Why is the carbon cycle important?
The carbon cycle is important because without it, we would not have plants.
Why is the nitrogen cycle important?
The nitrogen cycle is important because without it, plants would not survive.
What would happen if one cycle stops working?
If the water cycle or any other cycle stops working, then any other cycle will collapse.
Important. What is an example of living things interacting with non-living things?
Living things interact with non-living things, for example, a rabbit drinking water. Now that we've learned about our cycles, let's see what you've learned.
I'm a goofy goober! You're a goofy goober! We're all goofy goobers! Goofy, goofy, goober, goober! Put your toys away! Well, all I gotta say when you tell me not to play, I say no way! No, begin the way! I'm a kid, you say. When you say I'm a kid, I say it again! And then I say thank you very much! So if you're thinking that you'd like to be like me, go ahead and try. The kid inside will set you free! I'm a baby, Lizzie, I'm a baby, Lizzie, I'm a goofy goober!
What's happening? Huh? His dance moves are impressive, but I'm in control. See him!
Thanks for watching. This is Sarah Palin signing off.
That's all, folks.